welcome back to NCRT class 8th chapter number 10 Combustion and Flame. Children, after learning about the sound chapter, the next chapter here comes what? Combustion and Flame. In this chapter, we are going to study about what is meant by combustion, flame means what, and what is its structure, and what are the harmful effects to the environment with the combustion of certain fuels. All such things we are going to discuss in this chapter, children. So, what are the main topics which we are going to cover under this chapter are, the first comes, children, what is combustion? Means here we are going to learn the definition of a combustion, isn't it? And also the certain examples we are going to learn. After that, we are going to learn one more very common topic, that is controlling fire. It means that how to, suppose if any accidentally fire occurring, means what we have to do, how to control that, isn't it? So that we are going to study under how to control fire, isn't it? Then the next comes the types of combustion. Here different types of combustion we have, children, that is rapid combustion, isn't it? And one more, spontaneous combustion, then explosion. All these different types we are going to study under the types of combustion. Then what is mean by flame and the structure of a flame we will study. Then after that we are going to study about fuel means what and fuel efficiency, calorific value means what. Those all we are going to study under this topic. And the last topic comes what, children? Burning of a fuel which leads to, isn't it, harmful effects or harmful products to the environment. That is, here we are especially going to learn about global warming and acid rain, children. Global warming means what, and acid rain, and how it is occurring. All such things we are going to study under the burning of a fuels which leads to harmful products. So children, why we want to waste our time? We will start with the first topic called what is meant by combustion. Children, we are using fuels for our variety of working purpose. For example, in industries, fuels are widely used, and similarly, when we talk about the factories and all, there also fuels are widely used. And why so for, children? Even in the domestical purposes also, fuels are widely used, isn't it, children? Fuels like petrol, diesel, isn't it? All certain fuels are widely used in one or other way and for carrying out a different functions. Means, for example, when we take automobiles to run, we need a fuel, isn't it? Maybe it is what? Petrol or diesel we are going to use widely in the automobiles. In the same way, even in the different fields, we are widely using certain fuels. So children, shall we name a few of them? Isn't it? That is petrol, diesel, isn't it? Then kerosene, wood, coal, charcoal, then cow dung. Still you can use CNG, nothing but a compressed natural gas, children. These are all called what, children, here? Fuels. What happens when we burn these? Few will release heat and few will release what? Energy in the form of a light. So the certain substances which will undergo burning in the presence of air, nothing but a oxygen, are called as fuels, isn't it, children? So when we talk at the domestical purpose, we will use wood, isn't it? Then gas, CNG, isn't it? Cylinder, the liquefied petroleum gas, that is compressed natural gas, will use, isn't it? And also cow dung. Such all some few fuels we are using at our houses. isn't it? So what we will get after this burning? It will produces what? Heat, and it will be utilized for cooking or any other purposes here. So what I want to say is what actually happens during the burning of these fuels. Children, if you want to know more about it, means try to burn a candle, children, isn't it? That is, try to burn a candle. This is what, imagine it is what here? Candle. It is burning. Then, similarly, when you take coal, isn't it? Coal. When you try to burn the candle and a coal, observe the changes, what happens? It has found that, children, the candle is burning with flame. Isn't it, children? What happens? Candle burning with flame. Then what about coal? It doesn't burns, isn't it? Completely, means it doesn't gives out a flame here, isn't it? So it doesn't gives out flame. The difference between the candle and the coal is what? The candle completely burns and it emits what? Light in the form of a flame. Whereas the coal simply burns in the air, but it doesn't give what here? Flame. This is what these two also what here? Substances, they are burning, but there is a lot of difference between the burning of a candle and a coal, children. So children, what is meant by combustion? A combustion is a chemical process in which substances react with air to produce heat. Isn't it? Is called what? Combustion. Means in the combustion is a chemical process in which any substances like fuels, they will undergo reaction with the air and produces what? Heat. And the substances which undergo the chemical reaction, isn't it? That is chemical process in the form of combustion are called as a combustible substances. Combustible substances. Isn't it, children? When we take that is wood, it is burning to produce what here? Heat. So wood is a what here? Combustible substance. Means you can take here better all the fuels, isn't it? Fuels will give rise to what here? Nothing but a chemical substance. In other words, we can write that a fuel is nothing but a combustible substance. It might be a wood, it might be a charcoal, coal, cow dung, compressed natural gas. All certain these fuels are called as a combustible substance. And one thing we want to note it here, children, a combustible substance or fuel, it might be in the form of a solid, isn't it? Or it might be in the form of a liquid, and also it is in the form of also gas. When we take that is solid fuel, you can give example is, children, wood, isn't it? Coal, etc. You can take under the solid fuel. When we discuss about liquid, that is petrol, diesel, these are what? Liquid fuels. Then when we talk about the gas, CNG, isn't it? Then in the form of LPG, isn't it? Compressed natural gas and the liquefied petroleum gas. These are all what here? The fuels which we will get in different states of a matter. So here, children, do you remember in our lower classes we learned that the burning of a magnesium ribbon. What happens when we burn the magnesium? Here magnesium is an element. What happens if this element is burnt in air? You know children, that is when the magnesium is burnt in air means it produces magnesium oxide along with heat and light is produced. Along with what happens children? Heat and light. And in the same way, when we burn the charcoal, it also burns in air and produces what? Carbon dioxide, heat and light. Isn't it? So when we talk about these two examples, we will come to know that these combustible substances, they are reacting with air, isn't it? And produces what? Heat and light. So is it these magnesium and a charcoal, we can say now it as a combustion or combustible substances, because the clearly definition says that the substances should go on a reaction with the air. The same thing is happening. Magnesium is reacting with air and producing what? Magnesium oxide, and also heat and light is produced. You might ask that here we have stated only it produces heat. You know children, in certain other cases along with the heat it even produces light also. During combustion, light can also be produced in the form of a flame or glowing, isn't it? So we can say that any combustion will give rise to what? Heat and light. Means the combustible substances will produce what? Heat and light. And you know children, in even in our body also chemical reaction is taking place. You know, we are eating a food. The food is broken down into give rise to energy. Here, this broken down way, how it happens? Only in the presence of what children? Oxygen. Isn't it children? Whatever the food we are consuming, it divides or converts into smaller substances in the presence of oxygen. Nothing but a hay. And we will get about here energy. Got it children? Even the combustion in our body also occurs, and even in the sun also children. You know, sun is producing a heat and light, isn't it? How it happens? You know, in sun nuclear reaction will take place children, isn't it? Because of this nuclear reaction it produces heat and light. Nothing but how we can call it as a combustible substance, isn't it children? Okay, now we will take a few more examples under the combustible substance. Children, now we will classify the different combustible substance, and also we will study what are non-combustible substances. Here, certain materials have given children. We have to classify which one is combustible and which one is not. We already learned that a combustion means it has to burn in presence of a air. This we have came to know, isn't it children? So, when we look at these materials or examples children, we can say that wood is burning, isn't it children? So it undergoes combustion, so wood can be called as a now combustible substance, isn't it? We can write wood under combustible substance. Children, when the word comes combustion means you have to keep it in mind that children, it should be burned in presence of a air. So wood is burning in presence of a air, so we are calling it as a combustible substance. The next one is paper. It easily burns, isn't it children? So we can write under it, isn't it? The next, iron nail. Is it burning children? Iron nail in presence of air? It is not burning. So what we have to do now? We have to write under non-combustible part. That is, iron nail is non-combustible one, isn't it? It is not burning in air, and also it is not producing light or heat. So the next comes what? Kerosene oil. It burns, isn't it, in presence of air. So under combustion we will write. The next, stone paste. Have you seen anywhere children the stone is burning? No, so it is what? Non-combustible. The next, straw, isn't it? It starts burning easily, isn't it? Straw will, what happens? It melts. It starts melting. So it is what? It burns in presence of air. So it can be called as a combustible, isn't it? The next, charcoal. It also burns in air. So it is what? Combustible. Then matchsticks. It easily catches fire, isn't it? It burns in presence of air. Then glass. Glass is not burning, children. So we will write it under non-combustible substance. So children, this is our classification of a given materials into combustible and a non-combustible one. See here, the only iron nail, stone piece and a glass or what here in the given examples, these are called as a non-combustible substances. Even you can take few more also, children. You can give in your own words. So what thing we have learned in today's class, children? Combustion means what? What are certain examples we can give for under it? And also we have come to know that combustible substance means what? Isn't it? And fuels means what? And in different types, how we will use the fuels in different states, that all we have studied in today's session.